Reports have emerged in the last 24 hours that Antonio Conte to Manchester United is gathering pace and that United have made contact with the representatives of the Italian manager. Also coming out of Spain yesterday is reports that Cristiano Ronaldo has made a recommendation to Manchester United to go and hire Zinedine Zidane. Fabrizio Romano himself has stated that although he doesn't believe any contact between the two parties has taken place at this time, it is believed that Zinedine Zidane would not turn down the Manchester United job if it became available. What is your view and opinion on this? Is this very much the media creating a circus around Manchester United? Do you believe that there is contact between the Old Trafford outfit and these particular managers? And what kind of pressure is that going to apply to the big Champions League game against Atalanta and the huge mammoth tie between Liverpool and United this forthcoming Sunday? We're going to share the link for you to come on and have your say. We're going to delve into these stories in more detail. But do me a big favor and smash that like button first of all. Subscribe to the Football Terrace, the only platform that gives you the chance to speak, say, and give your opinions every single day. Let's do this. Morning, everybody. How's the start of your day been? We are going to be going back to doing some earlier morning streams. I've just had a few personal issues and things to take care of in recent weeks. That's why they haven't been happening. But back very, very soon indeed. 4:30 today, me and Gunnar live, digesting what's going on at Arsenal at the moment. So I'm very, very excited about it. I'm a bit warm in this as well, by the way. I'm a bit warm. I had my Penn State hoodie on because it was cold in here earlier. Now it's a bit warm, so I'm going to take it off. Don't get too excited, ladies. It's only the jumper that's coming off. It's only the jumper. But what's going on at Man United? I want your views. I want your opinions. I saw a comment from Tom a few moments ago. I want to find it here. Tom, one of our brilliant members. I'll find it in a minute. RDX says Ollie is a goner. Tom did say that he thinks one of the managers is coming in soon. James says Ollie in, he's doing a great job. I guess Liverpool fans would say that. Here it is from Tom, who says, yeah, Zidane or Conte will come to United soon. So let's look at it. Let's look at this current situation as in relation to what is being reported. So every single major journalist out there, barring a couple, has stated that United are fully behind the manager. There's nothing to be worried about. In the same paragraphs, they've kind of said, but they are disappointed with the way they're playing. And they do want things to improve quickly. That's code for Ollie, start winning, you're out. Now, yesterday morning, of course, we had Andreas on, and he was kind of scoffed at really for saying that Man United have had contact elsewhere. There are now independent reports coming out of Spain and Italy, respectively, picking up pace that both Zidane and Antonio Conte are on the wanted or shortlist for Manchester United should they need to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, as stated yesterday, the motivations behind the Glazers getting rid of Ole very well may not be shrouded in wanting to win trophies as opposed to maintaining a level of income. And in fact, sacking Ole and employing one of these managers would see them earn tens of millions of pounds in increases in share prices. That's almost a certainty. If you're someone that's interested in buying stocks and shares, at some point soon, buy some Man United shares. If Ole's results don't improve, I would recommend buying shares in Manchester United if you can afford to, because they will employ a new manager and the share price will rocket. Then sell them, make yourself some quick bunts. So I'm not the motivation. I don't really want to delve into. But I personally believe that Man United have made some kind of contact to test the appetite of these managers. If Ole goes, they're going to want to make a splash. Everyone's going to have a preference. I want Conte, I want Zidane, I want Enrique, I want Graham Potter, whoever it may be. But Man United need a better coach and they need a better manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's no doubt about it. One of the big things I wanted to ask of you all this morning, though, was the report surrounding Zidane. Because if that report is true, if it is true that Cristiano Ronaldo has made that recommendation, does that make him Ole out? Is that him demanding Ole's sacking? Is that him? I mean, it's not even privately, to a degree. Like that's going to get around the ether pretty quickly. Who's he recommended him to? It's got to be the board. And a lot of people have said this from day one with Ronaldo, that Ronaldo could actually, although people are criticizing him being part of the team, there's no way he's friends with Ole. He's known Ole a long time, but he's not going to sit there and keep losing these games without demanding change. I do believe there's an element of truth in this. And the way this feels to me reminds me of Cristiano Ronaldo's transfer and exit away from Juve. It was kind of, I wouldn't call him discredited, but it wasn't coming from all of the, go back to the summer when the first rumor came out, and it's from the same Italian outlet that are now claiming Antonio Conte to Man United is gathering pace. They printed that Ronaldo wants to leave, and all the major journalists said, no, we spoke to Ronaldo's camp. He wants, there's no demand to leave. This is a nonsense story. He's staying. Pretty much what they said. He did the whole Facebook Instagram shush thing. He wasn't leaving. A week later, he was leaving. I kind of feel like some of the lesser respected outlets kind of put these stories out a little sooner. I feel like a lot of the major journalists right now are trying to sit on the fence and protect themselves. Listen to what they're all saying. As of now, the club are not doing this. As things stand, as of right now, they're backing the manager, but they are a little bit disappointed. They're leaving the door ajar. You know, they're keeping their foot in the door so that if we lose to Atalanta and we lose to Liverpool, it's easy to push the door open and say, well, we always said that as things stand and things have now changed, as opposed to really telling us what they think and feel. And that's what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in trouble within his job. So I do believe that some early contacts have been made. Gathering pace might be a stretch. There's a lot of sort of talk of these deals moving closer, but I believe they have. And the reason that I believe that I feel the likes of Conte or Zidane moving to Man United is closer is because Ole's job is at the highest risk that has ever been. And if he loses his job, of course, they're closer to coming in. But I do feel like this is picking up pace. I do feel like there's an element of truth, even in the Zidane story about Ronaldo making the recommendation, because I do believe, and I don't feel that this is a player power move. I don't feel this is a disrespectful move. But it's a case of Ronaldo saying, this isn't working. We saw Paul Pogba's words after the game. We don't understand why we can keep conceding these goals. We don't really understand what is going on. Some of these players want to win. And we all know it's managerial. And I made the point last night on the Arsenal match reaction, in case you haven't seen it. But Arsenal's midfield got overrun last night by Palace's midfield. Palace's midfield isn't better. It isn't better. It's about structure. Man United have been outplayed by teams in the central areas this season whose players couldn't get into our team. It's structural. It's about being coached. And we've actually lost our way completely this year since the squad become better, which is crazy. And people are blaming the better players for it. No, it's the manager being able to handle the tools that he's got. So as far as I'm concerned, Ole is walking a tightrope. The pressure is on him. I mean, tomorrow night is going to be, look, the crowd are going to get behind him. There is no doubt in my mind the crowd are going to get behind Ole. They're going to get behind the team because all real Man United fans want to win. And I want to win against Atalanta and I want to beat Liverpool this week. I truly, truly want that. Even though I do also want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be replaced. I could never want or wish my team to lose. But what I want to happen and the reality of the situation are two very, very different things indeed. Now, let's get this stream past at least 250 likes while we're live, people. We're going to open up. The lines are already open for you to call in. We shared it on our Twitter account. So go check out and follow our Twitter account if you want to come on and if you want to have your say. But we want to talk about Ronaldo. Do you believe that he is demanding? If you're recommending a new manager, that means you're asking for somebody to be sacked. There are more than one ways to skin a cat. You don't have to say, I want Ole out now and tweet it. But if you're going to your board and suggesting that, I want Zidane at the club, that is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It is. If I got to have my friend and listen, brother, I know you're dating Sandra, but my friend Tracy, trust me, you'd love going out with her. I haven't said the word you should break up with Sandra, but I'm suggesting it. Well, at the very least, two-timer. You don't have to actually say things to say things. That's the way the world works. I want your views and I want your opinions. My guy here, Sharek, says Gary is not to be taken seriously. A pundit who refuses to objectively critique Manchester United. I haven't seen the clip from last night, but I've seen a lot of people talking about it. And yeah, the problem is with me, I don't moan about people that I don't want to listen to. I just don't listen to them. So that's why I kind of at the moment haven't seen too much. This is from Wazza10 that says, I can guarantee you that Conte will butt heads with Ronaldo and Bruno. The best option would be Zidane, but he's waiting for the French team, is what Wazza10 has got to say. I mean, all those things could be true. Both those things could be true. I think all great managers butt heads with their best players. I think that's kind of natural and normal. That doesn't overtly worry me at all. That doesn't worry me at all. Sharek back again says, I will never want to lose, especially to Liverpool. Seen some people encouraging that, and in my opinion, it's pathetic. Absolutely. I mean, look, I understand where they're coming from. Like I said yesterday, I don't want to lose to Liverpool, but I'd rather get beat 4-0 than lose a narrow 1-0. I'd rather it be if we lose, I'd rather it be the final nail in the coffin, as opposed to this. What I feel like we're going through right now is this long, tiring, drawn out death. That's how I kind of feel about this situation. And that everyone's got a different view. Everyone's going to have a different opinion on who the right manager should be. The irony in it is none of us really know. And what I mean by that is none of us know whether we're going to stick to this new structure that's been built during Ollie's time. No one knows. At the same time, what we don't know is, what managers will or will not be successful. We all said that LVG and Jose would be successful, predominantly across socials. What great moves, we're excited. So you never quite know what is and what isn't, going to work. There was a lot of Chelsea fans that weren't sure about Tuchel, as an example. There were Palace fans that weren't sure about Patrick Vieira, but they're very happy straight away. So you kind of look at the Tottenham situation with Nuno, and it's like, don't want him, but it's not a bad start to their campaign. You never quite know who's going to work out and who isn't. So I'm open to hear who you think and feel should come in. We've shared the links already on socials, but I'm going to post them again now in the comment section for you to come on and have your say. I want to know what you're thinking and what you want to feel. Anything else you want to speak about, feel free to phone up and have your say. Ali here says, thoughts on Gary Neville's comments. I haven't seen his comments, so it's very hard for me to judge. But I've seen some, as in I haven't seen him say it. I've seen some snippets that kind of look a little bit like he's having a go at everybody but Ollie. Like I've said to people before, all I ever see is like Gary Neville's opinions get slagged off. At the same time, all I ever see is his videos trending. It's like, if you don't like somebody's opinions, just don't watch him. That's what I would say. Watch me. I'm only messing with you. But like, I haven't seen him say it. Nobody from the class of 92 is really going at him. And it frustrates me, but then I don't see it anymore because I don't watch people that frustrate me. I just don't do it. It's just not my way. AJ here says, Conte and Zidane are used to dealing with elite players. They won't be intimidated. Yeah, and I don't think that's the one thing about both those guys. I don't think there's any suggestion that they would be intimidated by managing Manchester United. The one thing about both those guys, that really intrigues me, is that the Terry Tibbs waiting backstage. It might be. I was actually thinking about this guy the other day, and I haven't heard from him in a while. That could be him. We'll be getting him on soon. Danny Devil in the details is here with us. Tom's backstage. We're going to get everyone on in the next 15 minutes or so to have their say, but we need that like button to be smashed. Yeah, I'm a better pundit than Gary Neville. There's no doubt about it. I'm only messing. The thing, what I would say though, I've seen a lot of content creators attacking Gary Neville. I don't know how many of you watched the Football Content Awards that I so brilliantly hosted the other day. I was amazing. I did such a great job. But Sky Sports won an award and the crowd booed them. And it bothered me. Not because it was a show that I was hosting or anything like that, but because I thought, all you content creators booing Sky, if Sky phoned you tomorrow and said, would you like to appear on Sky Sports News? Would you like a role on one of our shows? You would get down on your knees in one way, shape, or form and say, thank you, yes, please, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir? You would. I see people attack Neville every day and other pundits, their shows. Would you like to come on the overlap? Oh, yeah, please. Yeah, I want to come on this guy. Yeah. That's why I don't take. If you really don't like it, unfollow and stop listening. But you don't. You really kind of like it, don't you? It's like, oh, I love it when it's controversial. So just don't act like you hate it. You don't hate it. It's for clicks. And I know about doing things for clicks. This is the pot kettle black moment. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, look, it is what it is. And it's true. It is true. And I said it on stage. I literally said it on stage. By the way, it wasn't a thought. It wasn't one of those things where I go, oh, I wish I'd said this. No, I said it on stage. You'd all say yes if Sky offered you a job. So why are you booing? In fact, I saw some people booing that I see on Sky. Oh, God, I love it. I love this game. My dude, original base, and he said, it's been a while, Terry. Hope you're doing well. I just quit my job and may be moving overseas to Canada for a new job. United have been woeful of late, not going to lie. My bro, listen, this guy made one of the best cakes I've ever eaten in my life. I drove to his house. Not going to tell you where he lives, but I drove to his house. I picked it up. Absolute top man. That cake was good. TalkSport are the worst. Yeah, but everyone says TalkSport are the worst, but they go on TalkSport. I don't take it seriously anymore. Oh, I hate them. Don't do this. Don't do that. Would you like to come on for an interview? Oh, yeah, please. Yes, please. Oh, yeah, I want to come on now. Yeah, like there are some, for instance, I know the boys at Redmen wouldn't associate themselves to anything connected to the Sun. Directly, sister company, whatever. They wouldn't do it. They would not do it. 100% those boys wouldn't. By the way, big up the guys and ladies over there. I met them at the awards. Really nice. Nice little chat, actually. Nice warm reception. So real good people. Right, let's go to some of your calls now. Danny Devil in the details is coming on first. We're talking about Conte or Zidane to Man United. And I'm asking the question, and I'm going to ask it in a social media fashion. Is Ronaldo Ollie out? If you believe the reports, then maybe he is. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. Danny Devil in the details is on the show with me now. Where's the button I need? There it is. Let's do this. Yes, Dan. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. I've recovered from Sundays. Well, what day was it? Saturday, Sunday? Can't even remember. My brain scrambled.
It's Saturday.
Saturdays. Yeah, it feels like a long weekend, mate. Long weekend after that. I was watching the game and just my brain was scrambled because I couldn't process what I was watching. You know, you're looking like, did that just happen? Did that just happen again? Did they just do that? It's just, yeah, mind-boggling what happened. But in regards to Conte or Zidane, or let's start with Ronaldo. Ronaldo's Ronaldo in, first and foremost, yeah? He doesn't care about the manager. He's Ronaldo in. And if Ollie's smart, he'll take Ronaldo out of the team. Do people understand how hard it is to defend with 10 men? Even when your team's badly organized, because you're clearly not working, getting people behind the ball and pressing properly, you're not doing that. And you've got Ronaldo not getting behind the ball. Forget about it. You're not doing anything. So yeah, he's Ronaldo in first, Ollie out second if he is Ollie out. In terms of Conte and Zidane, Terry, God, is it that bad? You want Conte? Are you that desperate as a Man United fan? You've suffered for 2.5 years of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and then you go to him. What was the point? Just sacked Ole 2 years ago.
No, I hate, bro. Look, my view is this. I've got some personal reasons as to why someone like an Antonio Conte would be the right appointment, and that's nothing to do with how we would play football. It's to do with I believe Antonio Conte would show that all this talk of rebuild, culture, structure. We've just been lied to. And if we've been lied to, then it's my opportunity to jump on what I will call my agenda, which is let's stop for now and forever. Let's stop talking about managers and players and let's focus on the owners only. And if you're still supporting these owners financially, then you are the Glazers. And that's my view now on Man United fans. But I almost feel like we need one more big moment to prove to these Man United fans to stop talking about Ollie, Jose, LWG, David Moyes, every player in those managers' little eras that we're focused on, Fellaini's and Rooney being past these best, and Rashford and favourites and McTominay and McFred. There's always 2 or 3 players that we focus on a manager. And it's sort of like, and I sort of sit there and think to myself, Antonio Conte, by the way, I hope I'm wrong. And if he comes in, I hope he smashes it and we win Premier Leagues and we look great. That's my first choice that we're in that direction. But I still feel that if we go for someone like a Conte, it will in the medium to long term fall apart and become toxic and horrible again because the structure is going to erode. Yeah. But then my hope is that we could, but it's almost in the mire of that. My hope is then that the Man United fans become unified enough to say, actually, we need to stop focusing on everything else, barring at the ownership of this football club. And at the very least, even if we can't change it, we just stop moaning about all the side dishes and focus on the problem in the middle. My preference is to go for a manager that plays more attractive football, more progressive football, that I think would be a continuation from somebody like Oli. So I do think someone like a Zidane or Luis Enrique, that caliber of manager, Ten Hag, I believe they could do that. So that's my personal choice. However, if we went for Antonio Conte, I'm still going to support him to that point. I don't care. I actually don't care how the football looks as long as we're winning. Does that make sense? So if we won Premier League playing Conte's way, I'm still to a degree fine with that.
But it's not about him, Terry. That's what people need to understand. Conte's a top manager. It's not about him. It's about Manchester United. Does it make sense for Conte to come here? Does it make sense to Conte to inherit this squad? He plays 3-4-3. What does that eliminate immediately? 2 strikers, 1 attacking midfielder. Sancho, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, sacrificed. Ronaldo will be in there. Maybe one of those guys get in. Attacking midfield. Bruno, Pogba, Van der Beek. 2 of those are sacrificed. Maybe Pogba plays if Conte trusts in the central midfield next to a McTominay, etc., etc. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. How many windows does he need to implement his system perfectly? Going up against Klopp, who's a champion now. Klopp won a champion when Conte beat him in 2016-17. Pep won a serial winner. When Conte beat him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do people comprehend what's right for you? It's not about Conte.
I get all of that. And I get all of that. So my kind of thoughts around Conte is, let's see, I have the element of, I hear you, but let's see what happens. But at the same time, if everything you're saying happens, I'm not trying to be self-indulgent here. So I don't know how to word it other than I told you all. And if we go in a completely new direction and start a rebuild again, I don't even care that Conte is the manager at that point. I don't care who is the manager. Yeah. Whoever comes in, if we have to rebuild again, as in rebuild the squad again, the structure, if this manager, I want to install trees so the cameras can't watch us, and actually the first team players can't eat with the coaches again, like any kind of weird nonsense like that, I'm out. Yeah. I'm off. The manager element is no longer ever going to be my focus.
Can I make the point real quickly, Terry?
Do you get my? That's my view on this, mate. Yeah.
You put out that tweet, and straight away I was like, oh, fucking hell. Conte and Ten Hag, where's the plan? Where's the football strategy? The reason why a lot of us want Zidane, Ten Hag, or Luis Enrique is very, very simple. All of those managers play attractive football, and the midfield is important to everything that those managers do. So if you hired Zidane and you sacked him after 2 seasons, a Ten Hag could take over. If you sacked Ten Hag, a Luis Enrique can take over that team. There would be continuity if you stick with managers like that, right? If you look at this team, what's the problem? Is he going to rip up the defense? Maybe you don't want Maguire. No issues. Fine, you get Lindelof, and maybe you buy 1 defender. You look at the attackers, you're going to rip that up? Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, even Ronaldo, Sancho, you're going to wrap that up? No. You're going to look at Matic, you're going to look at Fred, you're going to look at McTominay. Those 3 aren't good enough. I've got Pogba, I've got Van der Beek, I've got Bruno. They need someone to anchor the midfield who's quality. Enrique, that's the first thing he's going to do. Ten Hag, that's the first thing he is going to do. Conte's a top manager. Top manager. He's just not right for Manchester United. And by the way, how long before he throws his toys out the pram? Manchester United aren't a well-run football club. So if he kicked off at Chelsea, who are better run, if he kicked off at Inter, obviously they had to sell people. They gave him 16 players to win that league title. How long before you think he kicks off with the Glazers? And in that time, will we have a trophy to show for it? I'm not so sure. That's all it is. Mate,
I hear you on that. Listen, Danny, top call, mate. Thank you for coming on, having your say, bro. Really appreciate it, my man. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Cheers. Neeks here says, would the step up to Man United be too big for Ten Hag? Do you know what? All these questions, I think there's a question mark over every single manager. And that's because none of us really know. Ten Hag, Zidane, these are like my sort of first choices, if that makes sense, because I like the way they play football. And I see a lot of disrespect towards Zidane. I see a lot of, but what's his style? What I've noticed on social media in recent times is if your style of football hasn't been given an edgy, quirky, trendable name. I don't know if trendable is even a real word, but what I mean by trendable, maybe it should be put into the dictionary. A name that trends. It doesn't have a kind of a tiki-taka, heavy metal football, overlapping centre back. Like almost, if there isn't a phrase that goes with it, or the style itself hasn't got a quirky name, what's the style? He just plays nice attacking football. I don't know how else to describe it. They move the ball well, good one-touch, two-touch football. They can be direct in their play when they need to be, but also can move the ball around nicely. Like, I've seen them do that. I've watched Real Madrid do it. Now, I'm not suggesting that this Man United team is as talented as that Real Madrid team, but the style is there. And it just hasn't got a name. But I see a lot of people going, Zidane doesn't have a style. No, you just don't know what to call it. It hasn't got a name, so you don't think it exists. But it's there. He has a very nice, attractive style of football, as far as I'm concerned. Whenever I watch Real Madrid play under Zidane, they just play really nice football. But it's just like, we should have named the damn thing. If TiVo Football not named it, that's what it needs. If TiVo Football don't do one of their brilliant videos and give it a name, nobody thinks there's a style that exists. It's laziness from football fans. That's what this is. It's laziness from football fans. It hasn't got a name, so I don't know what to call it. Therefore, it doesn't exist. I did a bit. It's cool. It's good. Right, next on the show, Terry Tibbs is back on a football terrace. What you saying, mate?
What's going on, Meaty? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Long time no speak. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Yeah. Don't be telling your missus that you were thinking about me yesterday. Like, she got a bit worried. How are you, mate? You all right?
I'm good, mate. I'm glad you're well. Like, sometimes it's like when I don't hear from like callers that used to come on the show a lot, I'm just like, I wonder what happened to him. I hope they're okay. But no, mate, good. I'm footballing wise, I'm crap. In life in general, I'm very, very good indeed. And what are you here to say, mate?
Just come to say, I don't think Ronaldo wants Ollie sacked. I don't think he wants any manager sacked, but he has got a winning mentality, hasn't he? And I think he will be disappointed in the recent results. I think he's got all the ingredients, he's just haven't got a chef. And I think what he's got is he went and bought a sous chef, and he's absolutely terrible, and he can't live up to the demands. I think he's tactically inept. I think he's one of the worst managers for freezing up at half-time I've ever seen. When the results are going his way, he's pumping his fists in the air, he's smiling, he's clapping. As soon as a goal goes down, he gets those big Furby eyes out and he's just staring at the pitch and doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know what? The sous chef comment is really funny because it reminds me, have you ever watched Gordon Ramsay does Hell's Kitchen? And you always get those guys who, like, when they do their intros, they're like, yeah, I'm an executive chef. I've worked at all these places. And in the first dinner service, you get like, he looks at it and goes, you're a qualified fucking chef. Are you having it's like that. It's like you're a real manager. You've said you're a real manager. You are basically, you wash the fucking dishes. That's about as good as you. Do you know what I mean? That's yeah.
And then the other side of it is do Conte and Zidane want to go to United? I mean, over the recent years, your turnover with managers hasn't been great, and especially with the comments that Mourinho made about the board and everything else being very, not forgiving, not giving money. I mean, we know that you've spent in January, but there's also reports this morning coming from United that the players are unhappy with Sancho's attitude and his willingness to try and train him. So there's a lot of mitigating factors at United at the minute, and I think if you don't sack Ollie soon, you're going to be in very, very big trouble. I mean, how far down the path are you going to fall before drastic measures are taken? Because it's not that you're just playing bad football. You don't know what to do when you go behind. You're like deer in headlights. There's no tactics there. Oh, give the ball to Ronaldo, see if he does something. But Ronaldo doesn't track back. So you've got no one getting behind the ball. You've got a bunch of absolutely individual quality players. And Ronaldo is arguably the greatest player on the planet. Messi doesn't count because he's not from this planet. So it's like, it's one of them. It's like, what are United going to do to change these results, change the mentality and change the attitude? Because even Ronaldo looked like he down tools second half against Leicester.
Mate, listen, I totally get it, and I think for me that's why change needs to happen, and a better quality coach is needed. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. And then then you can work out which of these players is really good enough as well. Because the one thing I'd say is this: nearly every single Man United player that gets discussed on socials is called overrated or it's not very good or blah blah blah. And so if all the players are not that good and overrated, then how bad actually is Ollie? I think it's the other way around. I think we have so many top quality players that if the structure was right, and I almost feel like
on paper you've got one of the best teams in Europe.
We do.
On paper, you've got one of the best teams in Europe.
Absolutely, and it's about bringing them together. And I keep making this point. I look at the way Brighton play football, Wolves play football, the way Palace played football last night. There isn't a single player that started for Palace last night that gets in the Man United team, in the sense of like Edouard's very good, but I'm not picking him over Rashford as an example, right? You're not doing that. But yet they play better football. Why? Because of the way they're coached and because of the way they're structured on the field of play. Do we need better midfielders? Yes. But do we have adequate enough midfielders to play good quality football? Well, if Brighton can do it with their squad, Man United can do it. And by the way, Brighton do it with or without Basuma. So it's a nonsense. The way people just keep saying, the irony in it is, the same people that say we're just individual brilliance, all they care about is buying the best players out there. It's like, well, no, you need, we're seeing the level up now, mate. But listen, Terry, top man for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Thanks, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut that off so soon. Next on the show, I'm going to go to Abs. Abs is here with us this morning. What are you saying, Abs?
I'm good, big man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay, really. Surviving, as it were. What you here to say, mate, about these two big links? Conte and Zidane linked to the club heavily this morning.
Yeah, Conte, I think he's a brilliant manager, but like Danny said, it doesn't make sense from a Manchester United point of view, just because our board is not well run. After a year or two, he's going to leave. It doesn't make no sense. I think, for me personally, if you're going to, because of the type of egos we have, Zidane is the most realistic one because he's managed egos before at Real Madrid. Ten Hag is my sort of preference. I feel like we need to get back into a style of football and things like that. But again, we have a director of football to make sure you're picking a very similar type of manager. But ours is, can't remember his name. So are they even going to pick the right manager? That's the sort of the crazy thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing for me. I've said all along that there's a personal agenda in this for me, and I want us to pick the right manager. I want to be completely and utterly wrong that there is no structure at this football club, and we're just going to continue whatever this path is that we've started with Ollie. We're just going to continue it with a better manager and better coaches. But I don't believe in my heart that is what we're going to do. I think we're going to go in a new direction. I think we're going to knock half the things down again. I believe we're going to be back in this position in 18 months' time. That's where my heart feels like we are right now. But there's also an element of me that's excited about that happening, because if it does, there should be no more managerial focus, because it'll be the fifth time on the bounce we've done it as a club. And my view is this: if by then every single Man United fan is not solely focused on the Glazers being the problem, then you don't love this football club. That's and you're only angry on socials. And you're doing the binary thing, the simple thing of going after a manager or a player because it gets you attention and clicks. If it goes wrong, that's what I hope the kind of, sometimes you get like making the best of a bad situation, or something good can come from something bad. That's what I hope happens if we make that mistake. But my first preference is, I hope to God, if they sack him, they pick the right guy for the job.
Yeah, but the thing, Terry, and I think I've said this before on the terrace, is that in the summer, remember I was saying I think we should get Ruben Neves. Our midfield is a problem. And the problem is the Ronaldo transfer was a reactionary transfer that United had to do. But if you look at it now, it was the most stupidest transfer to do, because we've now caused chaos in our structure of our team, which realistically is going to get Ollie sacked. The thing is, our team is not a bad team. We're about 2 players away from being a very good team. We need the right general to manage this team. We've got a lot of good players. I don't care what anyone else says. We have got a lot of good players.
Mate, I hear you on that completely. Abs, great call, mate. Thanks for coming on and having your say this morning. Top man, thank you. Cheers. AJ's on next. AJ's a Chelsea fan. What you saying, mate?
Hey, mate. Look, my missus is a massive Man United fan, so I tend to watch every single Man United game. To be honest, I want to see Conte come in. I think Conte would suit Man United well. Everyone thinks he's very defensive, but I think he got the best out of Lukaku last season at Inter. He defined like a period with Chelsea, came in, changed the entire format of formations. Went from a 4-3-3 that Mourinho changed the whole Premier League to his 3-4-3. And I feel like Conte can come into Man United and get the job done with the players he's got there at his disposal. I think they'd walk through. Well, I have a question for you though. Would you see United lose to Atlanta if it meant that Oli was sacked the next day?
No, I never want to lose.
Well, yeah, no one wants to lose. I just mean like in the sense like you're saying before about if Liverpool do win, you'd like to see them win like convincingly. So that's the nail in the coffin. I mean the same thing with Atlanta. I mean if it was before the Liverpool game, new management would come in before the weekend. Would that be something you'd want to see? Maybe if they got Conte or say Zidane in before the weekend, it might change the result for the weekend. Maybe towards Liverpool might play with a different approach.
Yeah.
The players might have the bounce back.
I look at it this way. I used to do this when every now and then when it's a big Man United game, I always put a bet on the match. I like a little bet. I always bet on us losing because then if we lose, I've won a bit of money. So it's the silver lining to a bad situation. My thought is this: I'm sort of building up to the game. I'm looking. I want to beat Atalanta. I want to beat Liverpool, irrespective of my thoughts towards Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I understand that those two trains of thoughts are quite literally counterproductive of one another. But my love for Manchester United is so deep and so ingrained in me. I can't want us to fail just so I get what I want, even though it could be better for the football club. I think that's my view with it. But if we are to lose, I'd rather be embarrassed than lose narrowly, because losing narrowly, I don't think will cost Ollie jobs. So yeah, I am between a rock and a hard place, legit.
Yeah, well, it's going to be tough, but I think, to be honest, Ollie's probably going to pull a miracle out of his ass and, do well against Atlanta and Liverpool and get the results and stay in the job for another few weeks. But to be honest, I hope he does. I like watching a game of football, so it's interesting to see where the team's going. I feel that United should be doing a lot better, though, with Ronaldo and Fernandes has been pretty quiet this season, which is a bit weird for him. He had a phenomenal season last year, and this year he just seems to be not hitting the same heights, not getting the assists, the passes aren't coming off. If that penalty misses anything, maybe it's just a little playing on his head ever since then. But I'm keen to see that attack full flowing forward with Sancho, Ronaldo, and Fernandes all pinging balls in and having shots. I feel United have the team to really, attack the Premier League this year, but just doesn't seem to. Yeah, like you said, it's structural. They're not getting in. They're not getting the ball in behind. They're not getting the runs in, and that comes down to a lack of managerial sense.
I hear you on that completely, mate. I do. AJ, great call. Thanks for coming on the terrace, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Viewers, do me a big favor and smash that like button. We are still being attacked by a number of trolls on the terrace at the minute, so I do need your support in hitting that like button. Really do need your help with that indeed. So thank you. Chelsea Love here says, I predict United to draw versus Liverpool. Salah will be nullified and Ronaldo will score. Ollie will keep his job once again. You heard it here first, is what Chelsea Love has got to say. Yeah, I mean, again, predictions like that are not they're not out there. They're not like some crazy thoughts because this has happened before. Just something feels a little bit different. I'd take a loss, Terry. You don't love the club. Listen, I hear what you're saying. It's what I want and what I don't want. It's almost this, if we lose and he went, I'm secretly like inside, it's not that bad a situation really, is it? It's a bit like, I remember once a superior of mine lost their job. They deserve to lose their job. And I was like, it's terrible. But in the back of my head, I was like, I might get a promotion here. To get the thought on it. Like, you don't want to see other people do badly, but it's like, I might help me. Like, you can't help but be, sometimes as human beings, you can't help but be selfish. I think we've got that like ingrained into us really and truly. We can't help but be selfish sometimes. So there is a selfish element of me that wants Ollie gone. But there we go. There's a report that's come out here on the United report. This has come from a French journalist, Frédéric Hamel, who has said Zidane has never been interested in the Premier League and surely never will be. And listen, like I've said, you're going to get multiple reports that flies in the face of what Fabrizio Romano said around basically he wouldn't turn the job down if it became available. that's it. You know, it is what it is. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this goes. Everyone's going to have a different view and opinion. Right now, the strongest reports are about Antonio Conte. They're the strongest reports as it stands right now. And that in itself is triggered a lot of Man United. That's the one thing about sacking Ollie, though, as well. But I do also, and again, I'm not binary in this. And I find it hard to be binary in my thought process in life. I'm kind of like, Ollie's got to go. But then I am like, but what if we hire the wrong manager again and it gets worse? Not in the short term, in the medium to long term. What if it gets worse? Because it did with Jose. It got better. And then it crashed. Like a lot of people look at it and go, Jose's peak was better than Ollie's peak. Yeah. But it's... I judge a manager by their peaks, but also what condition did they leave us in? Like, how did you leave us, bro? Do you know what I mean? Most Liverpool fans remember Brendan Rodgers for how it ended, not how it began. You know, it's the ending is really important as well. But there we go. Listen, people, we're back at 4:30 today. Myself and Lee Gunnar are on, of course, live after the Champions League games this evening as well. Sorry, I couldn't take any more calls today. I've just run out of time. But make sure you're tuning in at 4:30 today. Lee Gunnar and me are back doing the Straight Facts podcast. Until then, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again.